I've got 7 players, 3 running backs, 4 wide receivers that I think you need to go try to buy low on right now before your league mates realize, oh, hey, these guys are actually good and valuable in fantasy. Now, before you run out and go make these trade offers, don't forget to get your pick'ems in. They're already live for week 5 of the fantasy football season. And also, if you're new to Underdog right now, you can take advantage of this Kirk Cousins new customer special free pick on Thursday Night Football. He just needs a yard. You pair that with any other pick or picks you like, and it's an easy way to get a W right out of the gates. Plus, if you join using promo code ENDGAME, not only are you going to get that free pick, you're also going to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash that you can use right away to make those picks. Let's start at running back with Josh Jacobs. I think he is a fantastic buy low right now. You look at this game in week 4, did not have a good fantasy game, but this game script totally got away from the Packers. I mean, the Vikings were completely blowing them out for most of that game. They were just chucking the ball down the field. But you look at Josh Jacobs on the season, he has 65% of Green Bay's running back carries and 57% of the running back targets. He also ranks 11th among all running backs in red zone rushes this season, and he's 8th in carries inside the 5-yard line. So not only is he getting a workhorse role by today's definition, but he's getting those valuable carries that can get you touchdowns. And sure, Emmanuel Wilson gets usage, and rookie Marshawn Lloyd may get some usage down the road if he can ever get healthy, but this is always going to clearly be Josh Jacobs' backfield. Jordan Love is now back, and look, he wasn't even great in week 4. He should only get better from here. Josh Jacobs coming off of 3 really kind of underwhelming fantasy games and really 2 bad games in a row. I think this is the perfect time to go out, get yourself a high-end RB2, low-end RB1 like Josh Jacobs. And to illustrate my point, I want to show you some trades that have been made for Josh Jacobs recently. These are real trades made in real fantasy leagues across Sleeper by real fantasy football players. So before you drop in the comments and say, no one would do that, well, here you go. They're doing it. And you can see here I have it set up for 1 QB leagues, anywhere from 8 to 14 teams, half full PPR. And I'm only looking at trades where it was made 1-to-1. So Josh Jacobs for another player, so you can get a good idea of what it might take to get Josh Jacobs right now. Jake Ferguson for Josh Jacobs. Look, Jake Ferguson has been great, but if I can get a high-end RB2, low-end RB1 for a tight end, I'll do it and just stream tight end. Also, if Sam Darnold is just sitting on your bench, why not just trade him and get Josh Jacobs? Like, if you have another QB and Sam Darnold's your QB2, just go get Josh Jacobs. I'd also prefer Jacobs over a guy like Kenneth Walker because he catches more passes. Same with DJ Moore. Like, what's the real upside here? Like, is Caleb Williams ever going to really support DJ Moore as a fantasy wide receiver 1? I have my doubts. Jonathan Brooks, I mean, he's coming off ACL. We don't even know when this guy's going to play. And then again here, Kenneth Walker, J.K. Dobbins. I mean, I definitely prefer Josh Jacobs to J.K. Dobbins, although I am going to talk about J.K. Dobbins in a second here. So you can see some trades that were made recently for Josh Jacobs, real trades in real leagues. So if you've got any of these players or similarly valued players, go out, try to get Josh Jacobs. My next buy low running back is Rhamondre Stevenson. He had 68% of the carries in week 4 and 55% of the targets. He's still clearly the workhorse running back here. And you look at on the season, 65% of the carries and 59% of the targets. He's also had 76% of the attempts in the red zone and every attempt inside the 5-yard line. Now, I know they're not going to get a ton of red zone touches and a ton of carries inside the 5-yard line, but when they do, it's all going to Rhamondre Stevenson right now. He's still the workhorse running back in this Patriots offense. He still has touchdown upside. He's coming off of 2 down games. I think he's going to bounce back. He's going to get better. Yes, there's going to be stretches where he's not very good. Maybe there's going to be some tough matchups down the road where you're like, I don't know about this. But again, this is a solid RB2 you can just put in your lineup every single week, and you don't have to worry about it. And his cost is not high at all right now. Rhamondre Stevenson for Kareem Hunt. Are you kidding me? Give me Rhamondre all day. I'll take Rhamondre over Rachaad White. I'll take him over DeAndre Swift. I know DeAndre Swift coming off a nice game, but are we really buying into that one game against one of the worst running defenses? I'd even take Rhamondre over Tank Dell. Look, I like Tank Dell. I still think there's potential for Tank Dell, but Tank Dell is your wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5, and you need a running back. Go get Rhamondre. Now, I'm not giving up Connor for him, but maybe Odunze. Again, Burrow, if you already have 2 good quarterbacks, like if you have an elite quarterback in Joe Burrow, you don't need Burrow, just go get Rhamondre Stevenson. So again, this illustrates that people are not very high on Rhamondre Stevenson right now. This is the time, go out and try to get Rhamondre. And then my final buy low running back is going to be J.K. Dobbins. Again, 2 down games here against 2 really tough defenses, but when you look at it, he is clearly the workhorse running back in this offense. He has out-carried Gus Edwards 29-9 over the last 2 games, and he has all 7 running back targets. No other running back has gotten a target in this offense. And like I said, 2 down games, but they were really 2 tough run defenses he went up against. And in week 4, the Chargers were down their top 2 offensive linemen. The fact that he even got you 9 fantasy points is really actually pretty good for J.K. Dobbins. He's only going to get healthier as the year goes on. He should only, I guess, get better. He might not be as good as he was in weeks 1 or 2, but look, he's going to be a solid RB2 rest of the season here. We know this is an offense that's going to run the ball as much as they can. Gus Edwards isn't involved. Kimani Vidal's not even playing yet. Go out and get J.K. Dobbins on the cheap while you can. And then again, you look at some trades here. TJ Hawkinson, everybody excited for TJ Hawkinson potentially coming off IR, but like if you've just been stashing TJ Hawkinson and you already have a good tight end, just go get J.K. Dobbins. Or even scrolling down a little bit here, like Brian Thomas. Like, sure, I like Brian Thomas. I like his potential, but like this seems like a fair trade. If you need a running back, go get Dobbins. Dalton Kincaid, so I'll say the opposite here. Like, I would stream. I mean, how good has Dalton Kincaid or any tight end really been? Just give me J.K. Dobbins. His teammate Quentin Johnston, really? Give me J.K. Dobbins. Now, you do see some people in here like, I mean, Garrett Wilson, Brandon Ayuk, like, don't go that far. But Juwan Jennings, okay, Juwan Jennings looking like just a flex right now. Give me Dobbins. Same with a guy like down here like Darnell Mooney, and I like Darnell Mooney, but I mean, come on, Darnell Mooney just kind of a flex. Give me J.K. Dobbins. All right, let's jump to wide receiver, and I mean, Garrett Wilson just a screaming buy low right now. Now, I will say he does have a few more tough matchups coming up, but the second half of his schedule is about as good as it can get for wide receivers. He's going to face the Texans, the Cardinals, the Colts, the Seahawks. Okay, a good secondary. Dolphins, Jaguars, Rams, and then, okay, a tough matchup in Week 17 with the Bills, but really, outside of that matchup and maybe the Seahawks, these are all smash spots for Garrett Wilson. And it's not like his usage has been bad. It's not like they're not targeting him or anything. He still has a very strong 25% target share, well over a 30% first read percentage. Better days are certainly ahead for Garrett Wilson. This is a time to go out and try to buy low on Garrett Wilson before he starts having those nice games and the buy low window shuts. And then you look at it here on Fantasy Calc again, Puka Nacua. Like now they're saying it might even be like another month for Puka, maybe more. I mean, just give me Garrett Wilson at this point. And I mean, Devin Singletary, really? Devin Singletary? This trade was made today. Devin Singletary. Come on, Garrett Wilson all day here. I'd even take him over Monty. I know Monty's been great, but like if Monty's your RB3, RB4, and you need wide receiver help, this seems fine. And I know Xavier Worthy right now has a ton of steam. Everybody thinks he's going to like be the new Rashee Rice in this offense, but let's not forget this guy's a rookie. It's going to be some growing pains. Give me Garrett Wilson over him all day. Same with Jalen Waddle. Same with Adams, who's hurt right now. Probably not Tyreek Hill. Connor Close, not A.J. Brown, not Neighbors, of course. Go out, buy low on Garrett Wilson while you still can. I think you also need to try to buy low on Chris Olave while you still can. This guy's got 15 targets, 14 catches. That's a 93% catch rate, 173 yards, and a touchdown over his last 2 games. But people still aren't happy with this guy. They still don't think he's going to perform like the way they expected, the way they drafted him. And look, in week 4, Shaheed slightly had better, snaps and targets and things like that. And now people are a little worried. Oh, maybe he's not the wide receiver 1. But did we forget that this guy hurt his hamstring on Friday? Multiple times in that game, I saw him like get a catch and then kind of like gingerly walk off the field. He obviously was not 100%, was not playing full snaps. Do not overreact to the Rashid Shaheed usage. Please don't do that. Chris Olave is still a stud wide receiver, one of the best separators in the NFL. I mean, if you watch a Saints game, every time he catches a ball, it's like no one's around him. He's so wide open. And this offense, even though it hasn't been as good as the first 2 weeks, it's still a great offense for a wide receiver. And that's the other thing here. You look at him on the season, you say he hasn't been very good. Those first 2 weeks were wacky, right? They were just crushing teams. If you look at Chris Olave over the last 2 weeks, he's a wide receiver 11 in PPR formats, and I don't see why he can't do that the rest of the season, but he's not being valued that way. So go strike now and get Chris Olave. Travis Etienne hasn't even been that good. I would take Olave all day. Same with Monty. I know Monty's been great, but I mean, like, really, are we expecting this all year long? I don't know about that. Mason's close. London's close. I mean, I wouldn't give up Kyron. I would definitely give up Kenneth Walker for him. Not Tyreek Hill, of course. Don't give up Tyreek Hill. But I mean, look at this. Khalil Shakir, Darnell Mooney, Romo Dunze. I mean, don't give up CMC. Devontae Adams. Again, Monty here. I mean, really, like, people don't think Chris Olave is that good. Like, they draft this guy because they almost feel like he's the best guy on the board, I guess. go out, get Chris Olave. He's going to be great rest of the season. And then I just talked about Drake London, said kind of even with Chris Olave, but I think he's another great buy low right now. He has a 30% target share over the last 3 games, and we've seen this offense, even though they didn't, put up huge passing numbers as far as touchdowns in week 4, we've seen the offense look better. We've seen Kirk Cousins look better. Drake London, clearly the number 1 guy here, still an alpha wide receiver. And this offense is just going to get better and better. Kirk Cousins is just going to get better and better. And by extension, so is Drake London. So go out, get him now while he's still a buy low, because I think this window is going to close very quickly on you. And then we look here and see for Drake London. I mean, look, Kyler Murray, Jaden Daniels, Jordan Love. We got 3 quarterbacks here. Look, I know they were great. Well, Kyler Murray wasn't great in week 4, but Jaden Daniels, Jordan Love. Look, if you're say you have Lamar and Jaden Daniels, which we get that question a lot. You have Josh Allen, Jaden Daniels. You have Lamar, Jordan Love. Why not trade these guys in a 1 QB league and get a stud wide receiver like Drake London? I'd still take him over Deontay Johnson. Honestly, I'd probably take him over Brandon Ayuk at this point, Devontae Adams, David Montgomery. Like I said, okay, here's that trade again. It's close. It's fine. Deontay Johnson. I mean, really, Drake London has all the makings to be a stud wide receiver this year. It just hasn't quite happened yet. He hasn't been terrible, but I think he's going to get much better. And then finally, a guy who has been terrible until week 4, and that is Michael Pittman. Now, it's easy to look at this and say, oh, well, of course, Anthony Richardson got hurt. Joe Flacco came in. We know if Joe Flacco's playing, Michael Pittman's going to be great, but that wasn't really the case. I mean, yes, he had a nice game when Joe Flacco was in there, but he had 2 catches for 60 yards on the first 2 drives with Anthony Richardson before he went out. He was already having a very nice game before Anthony Richardson got hurt. When you looked at the underlying metrics here going into week 4, everything was there pointing to Michael Pittman being a stud wide receiver. He's 4th in the entire league in target share. He's well over a 30% first read percentage, and his 11.8 yards per reception is right there with guys like Chris Godwin, Malik Neighbors. So it's not like he's just getting little dink and dunk passes here. He's actually getting the ball down the field. Like I said, 2 catches, 60 yards with Anthony Richardson yesterday before Richardson got hurt. I think much better days are ahead for Michael Pittman. I even said the reason Michael Pittman is failing is not because they're not throwing to him or not looking his way. It's because going into week 4, the Colts had the 4th lowest pass attempts per game. They're not going to be able to do that all season long. They're going to have to throw the ball more, whether it's Richardson, whether it's Flacco. Go get Pittman now while he's still a buy low. And then again, you look here, Xavier Worthy. I know, Xavier Worthy, he's going to be the wide receiver 1 on the Chiefs. He has all sorts of steam, but we know Pittman is the wide receiver 1 here. Give me Pittman. And again, Devin Singletary really coming off that game. Christian Kirk, he's fine, but I'd still prefer Pittman. Again, Jordan Love. If Jordan Love is your QB2, just go get Pittman. Jerry Jeudy, really? Jerry Jeudy, Keenan Allen, Quentin Johnston. Deontay's close. I mean, Juwan Jennings, another flex guy here. Even Calvin Ridley. Just give me Michael Pittman over all of these guys. So there you go, 7 players you need to go buy low on right now while you still can. But look, we got everything else you need this week. Starts it, booms, waiver wire, everything you need. We got you covered. Keep an eye on our week 5 playlist right here.